So Frankie needed some money one day. Judas pulled out a roll of tens, and he placed them on a footstool just above the clouded plain, saying, "Take your pick now, Frankie boy. My loss will be your gain." Frankie Lee, he sat right down, put his fingers to his chin. But with the cold eyes of Judas on it, his head began to spin. "Could you please not stare at me like that? It's just my foolish pride. But sometimes a man needs to be alone, and this ain't no place to hide." "All right," says Judas Priest, "I'll leave you here. But you better hurry and choose which of them bills you want before they all disappear. I'm gonna start my picking right now. You just tell me where you be." And Judas pointed down the road and said, "Eternity." "Eternity," says Frankie Lee, with a voice as quiet as a mouse. "That's right," says Judas Priest, "though you might call it paradise. I don't call it anything," says Frankie Lee with a smile. "All right," says Judas Priest, "I'll see you after a while." Frankie Lee, he sat back down, feeling low and mean, when just then a passing stranger burst upon the scene. "Are you Frankie Lee, the gambler, whose father is deceased? If you are, there's a fella down the road calling, says his name is Priest." "Oh yes, he is my friend," says Frankie Lee in phrase. "I do recall him very well. In fact, he just left my place." "Yes, that's the one," said the stranger, with a voice as quiet as a mouse. "Oh, and my message is he's down the road, stranded in a house." Frankie Lee, he panicked. He dropped everything and ran until he came upon the place where Judas Priest did stand. "What kind of house is this where I have come to roam?" "It ain't a house," says Judas Priest. "It ain't a house, it's a home." Frankie Lee trembled, and he soon lost all control over everything that he had made while the mission bells did toll. And he just stood there staring at that big house bright as any sun, with 24 windows and a woman's face in every one. Up the stairs ran Frankie Lee with a soulful bounding leap, and foaming at the mouth, he began to make his midnight creep. For 16 nights and days he raved, but on the 17th he burst into the arms of Judas Priest, which is where he died of thirst. And no one even said a thing as they carried him out in jest, except, of course, the little neighbor boy that carried him to rest. and he just walked along alone with his guilt so well concealed. But he muttered underneath his breath, nothing is revealed. Harmonica. Now the moral of this story, the moral of this here song, is simply that one should never be where one does not belong. So if you see your neighbor carrying something, help him with his load. And don't go mistaking paradise for that home across the road.